Okay, we don't need to sing. I feel like we come up with it. We don't even need a jingle at the beginning of our fucking episode. We are the jingle.
Yeah, whatever song is in our minds.
Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are diving into another episode.
I didn't know if you wanted me to say it back. Happy Wednesday.
I had to collect my thoughts. We're diving into another episode of Polite as Fuck. I'm Ellie.
I'm Erica.
And we have a super fun episode for you guys today. But before we dive into that, since it's nearing the end of the year, Erica and I kind of wanted to do like a little mini wrapped on our favorite on some of our favorite things from the year. And I wanted to just start off with like my most wrapped thing that I could say about this year is the amount of like concerts that I went to this year, which is I've never really been like a concert person. I've always done like maybe a few, but I think in this atmosphere everybody fucking goes to live music.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot. I saw SZA, and I think that has been like my favorite music. Like that's been my top 2023 Ellie's music. SZA.
Except it wasn't.
But that's because it's always Mac Miller. But after Mac Miller was SZA. I think, actually, I don't think it was. But for live music as well. And then I also saw Taylor Swift. Wild. I can't believe I saw her.
Yeah.
Eras
tour.
Oh, I know. And then, but also, I think we both had, that was like one of my favorite things about this year was my Vegas trip, too. Like, Vegas just gets ya.
Vegas is a wild time.
But I think those were my two, and All Time Low. Those were my three favorite, like, live music concert type things.
Live music concert things.
That's my category. Number one.
I think that's a good category.
What's your music? What was your music like in 2023?
I feel like we went to a lot of concerts together.
Yeah.
SZA was so good. I paid a hefty penny for those, but it was really worth it, I think. Fisher in Vegas, that was really fun.
Vegas.
Another Vegas trip. I'm trying to think. I sent you that my phone makes like these.
If anything is wrapped about this year, it's that fucking thing that you sent me. The photo at the end.
What was it called? It said like at the show or something. Yeah, at the show. Harry Potter Orchestra.
Voldemort's face. Oh, that's one of my. I should have put that for live music.
That was really good. Well, that was a really bad video, so.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I think SZA and Fisher, and I went to John Craigie with my friend, and I don't really listen to his music, but it was really good live, and he was doing like stand-up in between his songs, and that was really fun because it was like a comedy show and music, and it was like really small venue, and I liked that, so I think those are mine.
Yeah.
Top 3.
I love that. What was your favorite TV show?
We watched a lot of good stuff this year. You did say Insecure earlier, and I really liked that show.
I think that's I am the kind of person that watches the same thing over and, listen everything, the same thing over and over and over again. But so I was trying to think of things that I haven't even, like, watched before. And that was up there. Yeah. So relatable. She's fucking hilarious.
So funny. There's also a show I watched called Harlem, I think, on Amazon Prime, and that was really good. It was like 4 girls living in New York City, 4 women, and they're like in their late 20s, early 30s, and I really liked that show. It was like right after we watched Insecure too, so I feel like it was in the same
category. I love that. What else? Top Boy. I said that, but I don't know if that's just because that's like one of the most recent things that we watched, but it was just like, it got me. I was very invested.
A lot. It was very intense.
Very.
I don't know. Like, it was a good show. I don't know if it's in my top for the year.
Top for the year?
Top boy, top.
Just missed the tap. Okay, that's enough. You also watched Game of Thrones this year.
Yeah, that was really good. That's up there.
Are you interested in watching the prequel?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if we're going to talk about books, but I think because I've been reading so much fantasy, I need a break.
Yeah.
I'm actually burnt out from fantasy.
Well, that's a perfect, I don't know. For TV shows, yeah, I would say Insecure. We just finished watching The Bear, and I liked that too.
It was good. It was kind of like a show about nothing, but also good.
Yeah, to zone out at. And yeah. Books though. Fuck. This past like month has been nothing but.
That's all Ellie and I do.
Fucking read.
It's actually been so great.
I will have to say though, I try to narrow it down for like if I could pick one book for this whole year, because I feel like I don't know, I've read a lot this year.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite one has been A History of Wild Places. That was my number one. So good. At the beginning of the year, I was finishing a book that I've been reading for literal years, and so I was kind of like reading just for the sake of reading. And then when I finally read that book, I was like, it was such a page turner for me. I loved it.
Yeah.
My favorite.
I think mine is Dark Matter, but it was also
that's
like
on there too.
The first book that I've read in a long time that wasn't, I think that was the first book I read this year. And I read a lot of like self-help or like a lot of like, I don't know. Like I hadn't been reading a book every night that I'm like so excited to get back to.
Yeah.
And that was the first book that really like hooked me in. And I think it was also like just really interesting concept to think about. It's about like a multiverse or something, or like multiple realities. And I think it made me aware of like, if I came into my life but it was like slightly off, just like those little things that like you take for granted but you're like, I would notice.
Yeah.
Like if the coloring of the cushions wasn't the same, or like, you know, like those little things.
Yeah, that was an intense book. When I started reading that book, I was high on mushrooms and we were camping. It was a lot for me.
I was high when I was reading A History of Wild Places.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
So that's funny. And then I think as far as like the past month has been dedicated to A Court of Thorn and Roses, because that's what like led us into this fantasy land of books. But that was so good. So good.
Followed shortly by the ones you just read. The Fourth Wing.
Yeah, which honestly,
you said you might like more.
I might like more.
I could see that. I think because I read A Corp first, and that like got me into this. Yeah. I have like a soft spot in my heart. Yeah. But I feel like if I would have read the other ones, I would feel that way.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fantasy's cool, guys.
Yeah.
So is smut.
Yeah, that's the best part. Duh. Do you have a favorite event from the year?
Event?
Yeah, like thing that you did, like one, I don't want to say memory.
I think, so I didn't go through my year before this, but the one that comes to mind right away is Croatia. I feel like it was a really cool trip, but I think also because I literally got laid off right before I left. Yeah. And then I like had already booked all of these things, and I like had this solo weekend by myself in Santa Barbara that I think really like helped my mindset going into that, and like was with people that didn't need to be entertained, you know? Yeah. Like I felt like it was like we had fun, but I was also like on my own trip at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
You did a lot of solo stuff. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. What about
mine
you?
would be Florida.
You love
Because
Florida.
I feel like we did do a lot of like little things, but out of everything, that was like, there's just something about a vacation that I just like.
It's so nice.
I just fucking love it.
It is so nice. Wow, I did do a lot of music this year. I went to Arizona for that music festival.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of the year.
Oh, it's not really music, but it was live. Like I said before, when you showed that video or talked about that video wrapped on your phone, was the Harry Potter thing. I loved it.
That was really fun.
It was like, oh my God, I loved it. Wine and Harry Potter and, oh God, that was like a perfect night.
It was really fun. Would recommend.
Very much. Well, that's just because I'm a nerd.
I also went to Colombia. Forgot about that.
Oh my God. Fuck, I forgot about that too. We did all these
A lot of
things.
trips, a lot of money spent.
Well spent.
Well spent, I would say. I
Yeah.
feel like it was a lot of like trips and music, and those are like my favorite things. So
Yeah,
that was cool.
I loved it.
I think that Spotify Wrapped, I love Spotify Wrapped, but I know for a fact I purposely didn't really listen to Drake this year. How is he in my top 5? How? I didn't even listen to his new album. I didn't like.
I wonder, yeah, how do they do that?
I don't know. I was seeing all these
Well,
jokes
mine's
on
pretty much
TikTok.
spot on, so.
I'm wondering if because he's like featured in a lot of songs,
Yeah.
like if that counts.
Probably.
But I like in November, I'm always trying to like skew my Spotify Wrapped. With
A
like,
lot of my top songs were from the past like month and a half.
Really?
And I'm like, I remember being like obsessed. Like maybe 3 of SZA's songs from her new album made it on my whole list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I listen to this album all the time.
yeah,
Daily. Over and over and over again. So you're telling me that like Noah Khan jumped the list? Have I really been that depressed? Fuck.
Yeah, that's why
'Cause
mine
if
is
that's
skewed.
yeah. Well, yeah.
This last month, I've been like all the like
Oh God. Yeah.
sad songs, but it's been a good year.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna talk about the dating side
Oh my God.
of the year,
Yeah.
the dating wrap.
Yeah, the dating wrapped.
I have a presentation, so if you're listening, you should flip over to YouTube to watch this.
Yeah, you should.
So I made this in Canva and just went a little crazy.
I love it.
I don't know what the theme is. It's like space, retro, weird. But
Love
I've
it.
seen really cute ones, like heartsy cute ones, and
No,
yeah.
this isn't you didn't find your fucking husband. We don't need to be cute. We want to be like bold.
Spoiler alert, not dating anyone.
Spoiler alert, single.
So, do you want to talk about your dating rap first?
Yeah, this is my presentation. No, I don't even know. I didn't do anything this year. Men are.
Ellie was on the apps.
I was on the apps, but I was doing that thing where like you are on it, but you're not at all. And any like message I would get, I would like think twice about why I even liked them in the first place. Like I got in my head, and then they would just like drag the I mean, it's the same story over and over again. It's like they dragged the conversation, and I didn't make any effort because I barely opened the app. And then when someone would be like, "Let's meet up," I'd be like, "Yeah,
No,
let's not."
Let's not.
And then, yeah, I feel like more recently with the Be Bold challenge, I think that was like the most exciting month. Not any like super crazy stories. I feel like this year was a lot of learning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my wrapped. No one worth talking about, I can tell you that.
Well, none of mine are worth talking about, but we're going to talk about them
Yes,
anyway.
you have fun stories. My story is just like the same fucking story over and over again.
I will preface by saying I counted some of these as first dates when they really didn't like ask me on a date. It was just like that we
First, like, hang out.
met and did stuff, and that was like... So,
Yeah.
don't be alarmed by this next number, which is that I went on 24 first dates this year.
I love that.
And that's kind of wild. That's 2 a month if you average it out, but I didn't. I think I started...
Didn't average it out.
I went a little crazy in like, I think it was like May or June. Like I was going on like multiple dates a week, and I really burned myself out and was
Yeah.
like, I have to stop. This is too much. And it's like, we'll get into this, but I think I was putting in more effort than I should have been,
Yeah.
like on the apps, because you meet these people, not even, and I just want to like, let's make a plan.
Yeah.
And I was like really trying to like coax people to like make plans. And it's like, if you don't even have the initiative to do that, why am I talking to you?
Yeah.
So that was a learning.
That's why I don't like the apps.
How did we meet? So I broke it into 4 categories. The apps was the majority. Throughout the course of the year, I was on Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder. Tinder was a terrifying place.
Yeah.
Bumble, I just didn't really like it. I feel like I can be witty, but you have like such a short window to message them.
Yeah.
And sometimes people's profiles just like aren't that good, and I don't want to just say hey, but yeah. Hinge, I think is my favorite one. I like how clean it is. I like the prompts, but I just don't like the apps overall. In the wilds, all of these I met like out, like at a bar, but the majority of the time when we would talk has been like when I'm dancing, when we're dancing.
Yeah. Like loud environment.
Yeah.
Not like a cutesy cue.
No, not like at the coffee shop or something. These are all like...
Not your rom-com here.
No. In history, I just put there 3 people that I met. I knew them before 2023. And then one of these was from Instagram. So this was... Ellie and I went and saw a documentary with our friend. It was about surfing in Africa. Or like the history of surfing from Africa. And one of the people surfing and interviewed a professional surfer. Yeah, I found him on Instagram and then followed him. He followed me back, and then he posted that he was like in Oceanside like a month or so after. So I messaged and I was like, hey, I live close by.
Shoot your shot.
And we hung out. We went on 2 dates. They were awful. I can talk about them.
I feel like it's worth it to talk about them.
Okay. The first time Ellie and I went to this like backyard birthday concert thing.
Yeah.
For someone we didn't even know at a place we've never been. It was like really random, but I was like, this could be like a fun setting.
Yeah.
Because like it's
You're
all
outside,
new people. We're all outside.
Yes, yeah.
Everyone's like hanging out. And I had texted him way earlier in the day. And he got there when it ended. So then I was like, shoot, what are we going to do? And I was like, glad that who else was there? There was a few other people there.
Yeah, there were a few people there.
Yeah. It was all girls and him. He pulls up. I'm like, okay, we're leaving. But my friends are the best. And they're all like, let's make a plan. Let's go back to our other friend's house. And we get there and everyone's like watching a game or something like that. People aren't like trying to go out.
Everybody's, sitting down.
Sitting down. And we had just come from this like really lively event. And I feel like it was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really know who to talk to. And I feel like he was like talking to me, but also like
people were like trying to talk to him. It was just not the perfect setting.
Yeah.
It's not that it would be like awkward. It was just way not what we thought we were walking into.
Yeah. I will say his car was like soaking wet. Do you remember this?
My side wasn't. I just remember the car. It was like, it's just not what I expected. I was just like, oh, wow, okay. I don't know how else to describe it.
It was like he drove the car through the ocean and then came and picked us up. I'm not even kidding you. The passenger seat, like puddles.
Ew.
Yeah, it was gross. And so he was like, I'm going to go. He was like, I forgot my like vape or something. And I was like, gross. So he went back to the car and me being like, ah! And I think you guys were like, follow him. So I like followed him. And then I was like, do you want to like go do something? This is me entertaining. But there was also like, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. There was a language barrier. Like French is his first language. Yeah. Later, people were like, well, like he doesn't know like Western culture. Like maybe this is just how. We gave him a lot of excuses. Yeah. We went to In-N-Out. Then we went and sat by the beach and ate it. And then that was it.
Yeah.
But it was just like kind of awkward. Fast forward to 4th of July. I invite him to come hang out. He gets there at the end of the day. I texted him at like 10. I'm like, we were like at the pool. Then we went to the beach. Like there was a lot of things to do that day.
Yeah.
And he gets there and like I was with friends who were like kind of done. Yeah. They were like, okay, we can like go to dinner or something. Yeah. Like they kept hanging out because they felt bad. And like I'm making the plans again, but whatever. We go to dinner. They all are like, we're going to go home. And he proceeds to open alcohol in the car, smoking, like chain smoking cigarettes and drinking and driving. I was like, What is going on?
God. Nothing says Happy 4th of July like chain smoking and a car beer.
I was like, first of all, it's 4th of July, so like get rid of that immediately.
Because every fucking officer is going to be out tonight.
Yeah. We get back
for this
here.
Reason.
It was really awkward. I think he like wanted to shower together, and I'm like, no. I don't really know. Like, he was like, can I take a shower? And I was like giving him all the stuff, and he was like, are you going to shower? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh.
I think it was just like, some people are just weird. And I think, at least for me, I always, not that you romanticize, but it would have been a really great story.
Yeah.
And it would have worked out if he was the person that we kind of, I think
envisioned.
that you kind of envisioned. Yeah. And then when he like showed up and it was just like not who he was, you're like not really... We were like, wait, what?
Yeah. Very attractive, like a good-looking guy. But everything else about him, I was like...
He's one of my favorites of your dates, I think. He was just very interesting.
Yeah, the end of the night is we drive to PB for the fireworks. And we're at PB. A lot of our friends are there. We're sitting on like a blanket. Where we were watching the fireworks, you could see like a bunch of different shows at different times. And he's like, where's the party? I'm like... It was also like a work night. Like everyone had to work the next day. Yeah. I'm like, this is the party. I don't know. And he dipped. He like went to go. I told him like some bars that might be open, and he left. And then I got stuck. It took me over an hour to get out of PB. I had to spend the night at a friend's house like halfway because I couldn't even get back home because Uber's like $100. Stupid. So that was the one person that I met through social media.
Will you be doing that again? Do you think will you take into consideration, say 2024 provides you an opportunity to shoot your shot in Instagram?
I'm not afraid of the slide in.
I know you're not. What have you learned from this experience?
I think, I do have lessons learned in the slide here.
Sorry.
No, that's a good question. I do think like regardless of how attractive they are, I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier of like, I can't make all of the plans and put in all of the effort.
Yeah.
Like, if I slide into your DMs, if I'm making the conversation, if I'm like, hey, we should hang out, let's do something, put some fucking effort in.
Yeah.
Try a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know what his deal was. He was weird.
It was, very bizarre. Okay. What we did. So I broke it out by unique dates and classic. We can talk about the classics first. Going for coffee, drinks, and apps. I did not want to do dinner. I didn't do any dinner dates. I refused.
I love that.
I didn't want to be like stuck at a dinner with someone. I feel like that's like a very intimate thing, and I just didn't do that. A walk and chat, clubbing. I put that in there because it was like that's when I met some of the people.
Yeah.
Movies, lunch, hot tubbing, park hang.
Love it.
The unique ones. Frisbee golf was the first date that I went on this year, which I feel like would have been really fun had I not been being rushed off the course.
Wait, what happened with this guy?
He literally was like, had been playing Frisbee golf all of COVID, so was really good at it, which is fine, but was like impatient with me for not like keeping up. I'm like, this is supposed to be a fun activity. And so he gave me a handicap and said that I should start where he threw the disc first. So I didn't even start from the starting point. I ended up, he would throw, we would walk to his disc, and that's where I would start. Because he was just so impatient with me. Oh, and he also didn't have a car. He asked me to pick him up. So I picked him up for our date and dropped him off. I felt like a mother.
This is why there's no Ellie's presentation. Because these stories scare me. This is crazy.
I know.
I love that, though.
I hate that. But this is my first day, and I quickly learned, like...
what your limits were.
Yeah.
I agree.
Fish
races, that's not okay. Take that off of there immediately. That should be illegal.
Fish races? I think we talked about this, right?
And it's
so bad. I hated it. They like pour goldfish in a tank and you have a straw and you try and scare them across the tank. I was signed up for it. I didn't sign up. I was signed up. So that was a date. He on this date kept leaving me and like going to talk to everyone else, and I was like, what is, like, I'm just sitting in the corner. which like I could have gone and been social, but it was like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I-
Also, yeah. Anyway,
Rock climbing, this guy was weird,
he was hot though.
but he was really good looking. So the second date, Ellie joined.
She needed help, so I had to come in.
And we got our belay research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
That was kind of fun.
That was so fun. I had a great time on your date. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
He was weird.
He was
Erica
really
and
weird.
I had a blast, though.
We did. And then you're like, I think I'm going to go. And I was
And
like,
you're like,
wait.
okay. You
I
sure
just
eat now, or you have, what do you have to
I
do?
just wanted to hang out with you and rock climb.
That was fun.
But it was like a fun reminder of like, that's an activity we can do.
Yeah.
And we can meet people that way.
Yeah.
We haven't done it since, but it was a good reminder.
But we liked it.
Anyway, all of these I think are like fun ideas. They all have caveats and why I never went on another date with this person. Hot yoga. I was so stoked when he was like, do you want to go to hot yoga? Yeah. We show up. He's so hungover. He has to leave in the middle of class because he's like throwing up. He doesn't even finish the class. It's like, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The records, he was like spinning records, which I thought was really cool. Just everything he was telling me. You know when you can tell someone's like lying?
Yeah. Oof.
I'm like, you're just making shit up right now.
Like what? Like, oh yeah, I just bought a house yesterday. Like
Like
that?
things like that. Yeah. Just like so exaggerated and like, yeah. Game nights. I love playing games. Not with people. like actual games.
I love a good game. Yeah, that's a good one. What was that? What does that mean though? Like
They like came over here
Oh,
and we
okay.
like played like bananagrams and
Gotcha.
stuff.
Cute.
And going to the bookstore, which you'll see in a minute why that one was not good.
I liked these though.
Yeah, cute ideas for
Very
future
cute.
dates if you need them.
Yes.
Oh, see you next year. Okay. Okay, age range. Most of the people I dated, so I was 26 at the beginning of the year, turned 27 in April, 27 right now, obviously.
22 to 25.
Yeah, the youngest person I went on a date with was 22, which is wild. At the time, I was 26, so it was only 4 years younger.
Could you tell when he talked how much younger he was?
He was very like had a lot of dreams and ambitions, which I'm not like you shouldn't have those.
But also, you haven't lived.
But I'm
in this
also
world
like
very
you really
long
haven't had that many experiences in your life.
Did he use the word empire at all?
Maybe probably he was probably one of those.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, he was one that was like I was gonna play in the NFL and like
Oh.
it didn't work out.
But then I tore my ACL, so I ended up.
But
playing
no,
it,
like the coach didn't put him in enough and like
God, those are my favorite.
so that was a 22-year-old.
I love when I find myself at the. I did so much of that this is my rap, is like listening to them talk to themselves. And just hear, I love when I'm like caught up, or I have those moments where I'm so drunk and I find myself like awakening from this person of just being like, yeah,
Oh my
God.
gosh,
And then
that's
all of a sudden I have this
crazy.
like moment of clarity where I'm like, I'm literally right here listening to this man. So then I find you and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Men tend to do that a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The oldest was 33. But yeah, I feel like my takeaway from this is that people younger are usually immature. People older, at least in my experience, are like either too set in their ways and like they would just say things that I'm like, do you hear yourself right now? Like you're not open to like other ideas or opinions. There's a reason why you're not dating.
Yeah.
Which
single.
makes me a little scared. But most people in my age range were who I went on like multiple dates with.
I love that.
Number of dates. So we had a lot of firsts, not a lot of people on the second, and progressively goes away. The third, and the people that made it to third and fourth dates, one of them was just like actually making plans, which is why we went on dates, because I feel like a lot of the people I was really instigating for the first date, and either like I didn't really want to see them again, or they just really never made an effort again.
So you're just like cut off.
So I'm like, okay, I did all the work. But the other guy in the third and fourth date category, he just got way too comfortable too quick. It was like we like went out and did something the first date. The second date, I think he invited me over to his place to like watch a movie, which I usually would say no to that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the first date was so good and like really fun that I was like, okay.
Sure, yeah.
But then the third and fourth, it was like, now can I come to your place? Okay, and you want to come back to my place? And I was just like,
no,
that's it.
Things.
Like,
leave me alone.
You're not gonna try anymore.
Yeah. That's really annoying. I remember this guy.
I get that the talking phase is like annoying, but I'm like, try a little bit.
Yeah, but that just seems like already you guys have been dating for a year type thing.
Yeah,
like way too comfortable. The whole
yeah.
I love the fun. The talking. I feel like there's a difference between like talking and like getting to know them, and then it's like the period after where it's like then you get into like the good stuff. Then you get to like go do things. They still like want to wine and dine you. Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
And you still already know them, but like going and just like sitting at their home.
Yeah. Like he was like lounging out on the couch.
I'm
like,
glad that neither of us did first dates, or it looks like on yours, any dates at someone's house, like for a first date. Yeah. Whether it be like at. Yeah, I can't.
I don't want to. It's
way too much.
I don't want to be trapped at your house. I don't know.
And I don't want you here. I mean, I've said this multiple times on the podcast. I don't like bringing people here. Yeah. It's like my space. And then I have to clean the sheets, and it's like my duvet cover is so hard to put on. So it's just like,
this is too much work.
It's just too much effort.
No, I get that.
Who was the fifth?
The fifth was, if you didn't listen to, I don't know what episode it is, so I can't tell you which one.
So listen to them all.
He questioned everything. This was when I went to his house. We had done things out for all four dates.
And he was nice.
And then the fifth date, I went to his house, and it was like, he should have sent me a rule book before I went over because everything I did was wrong. Or he was like, why are you doing that? And I was just like, I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah. Sorry for existing.
Yeah, literally. So he did text me like after and never really acknowledged how weird things were because I just left. Like, I was like, I'm going to go.
What did he say to you when you were getting in your car? Because didn't he walk you out and then was like, I'm sorry if things were weird or something, and then, or you said something and then he like commented on the way you parked?
Yeah. Because I had like, my back tire was a little bit on the
oh, fuck
curb.
It. Who gives a shit?
But he was like, how are you going to get out? I'm like, I'm literally just going to fucking drive off the curb like I drove onto it. Gosh. If you're so particular about me driving, why don't you pick me up?
Yeah.
Boy.
No, then you would have been really trapped.
Yeah, that is true. I do like driving to go to the dates. Yeah. And have my own escape.
Yeah.
Okay, next is my biggest icks.
The juicy stuff.
This is actually 2 slides.
Yes.
I broke it out by, these ones I think are just like common and things that I think everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like order them in terms of first to last, but they kind of ended up that way.
Oh my gosh.
Is only talking about yourself. I'm not going to hang out with you just to hear you speak about all the awesome things that you do. I'm like trying to ask you questions to get to know you, but when you're just like going on a rampage and like never asking about me, I can't even tell you how many dates I went on where I would get back and be like, they literally don't know anything about me.
Yeah. They asked me 0 questions.
0 questions.
Yeah. I think that is the most common.
Being on phone, which I know you hate too.
Hate it.
Like, yeah, if you have, like, I've checked my texts or something, or, like, taken my phone to the bathroom and whatever.
Yeah.
But if we're on a date and you're just, like, texting, like, scrolling constantly. Instagram.
I hate it.
Why are we hanging out right now? No eye contact.
That's a good one.
I do try and do active things, but, like, if we're talking and I'm looking at you and you can't look at me.
Yeah.
Or like are looking like above my head or something. I'm like, it's just awkward. Lots of people, I think, have a drinking problem.
I think lots of people have lots of problems. But yeah, drinking is a big one.
Like,
Can't
not that
function.
not that I was hooking up with a lot of guys. I really didn't this year. But I couldn't have for even the ones that I did try because all of them couldn't function. Their penises couldn't function.
Their penises had zero blood. Yeah.
And
for me, I also think too, it's like that's the only way that they can have a conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
Or if like I meet them at a place where you're drinking, like a bar, like a club, and then we hang out in another setting outside of that, and I can see there's like a total change, shift, difference in you. I'm like, no, I wouldn't say necessarily a drinking problem, but for me, it's just like either I don't like you sober or like this, you're just like a totally different person, and you need it to have a, you need it to fucking
to
have
function.
to have a conversation.
Yeah. I guess maybe not drinking problem, but just like everything revolved around alcohol.
Yeah.
Which maybe is San Diego, but I'm like, we can do other things.
Yeah.
Or like when one day I went on, he had been at the bar already for an hour before the date and had already been drinking. And I'm like, we're going to lunch right now.
I think that's very common here.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think,
to me.
I don't know if it's just here. Is it just like
this age?
This age everywhere?
Yeah. So that's kind of annoying. I don't really love that. Out of pocket
commentary. Explain.
I hate immediately, like, don't want to talk to you if you call things gay or retarded or just...
Who said that?
Multiple people.
Ugh.
There's, in my notes, there's, like, some guy who said, like, he was like, yeah, I don't fuck short girls. And I'm like,
first of all, rude.
But, like, why? Why would you even tell me that?
Yeah.
Or, like, this other guy told me that he was, like, I said that I used to really like Drake, but I don't really like him anymore. And he said that he's, like, Eskimo brothers with Drake and, like, told me the story about how he, like, slept with a stripper. And I'm just, like, didn't really care to ever know.
So
Thanks, though. Bad driving.
Do they not know? Like...
I feel like I'm like, are you just so nervous that you are just like trying to tell me these like crazy things to like, I don't know.
Oh, God, so dumb. Okay. Bad driving.
Bad driving is self-explanatory. If you're going to pick me up, I don't want to be vomiting. Too comfy, too quick, we just talked about.
Yeah.
Not open to other opinions. If you're not open-minded, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
This next one is like more like specific to random people. Not necessarily things you can group a lot of people into.
Oh my God.
The first
God. is I can't. Okay, sorry, I'll stop.
Oh.
This is gold.
If you're a member of Vape Nation,
Get the fuck out.
Get out of my house.
Get
like,
the fuck
you
out.
have to be the best guy in all other aspects for me to be like, all right, I can see past it. But when you just have your little USB and are just vaping,
Literally.
I don't want to talk
Looking
to you.
so dumb. Be a man and pick up a real cigarette.
Or just don't do
yeah,
either
that
of those. Toe walking.
I'm dying. These are so funny. Oh my God.
Just walk flat on your feet. We're not in ballet. I don't know what's happening. Just please. Checking out everyone. I feel like that's obvious. I can tell when you're checking other people out.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
Doing the splits unprovoked.
Fuck.
It's really cool. You can do the splits. I didn't ask to see it. That was on a hike, so the dirt is literally sliding under his boots. He's wearing military boots, sliding into the splits. It was crazy.
Oh my God. And you just, what did you do?
I walked away. I was like, okay.
Oh God.
Drinking and smoking and while you're driving, that was flashback to the date I was talking about earlier because that was just insane to me.
Seriously.
Someone actually came from work in their dress suit for this hike that we had planned like a week in advance. So you knew we were hiking, and they proceeded to hike in their dress shoe and dress shoes.
Not only, okay, one, you're being weird, and two, it's like, we plan this in advance. Like, you don't think twice. Like, I am prepared. Come prepared.
Yeah.
Pack extra clothes.
He didn't even say he forgot clothes. He was like, no, this is fine. I'm like in like a workout outfit and he's fully in a suit. So then I was like, we'll just do like a little walk, and like I feel weird.
Oh my god, you should have taken him on like the worst, like hardest hike. Yeah, you fine now, bitch.
Crop dusting, brutal. If your stomach is upset,
go home.
Cancel the date. This guy, we met when I was a little drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember how we met.
It was right after our Y2K party, our Hillary Duff party, and we went to Booty Basement in South Park, which is awesome. And he just came up to you, or like you guys like ran into each other and really apparently thought you guys hit it off. And meanwhile, I am like, me and our other friend are like looking at you like, this is not going to end well. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He looks like a string bean and he looks like a mozzarella stick, actually, with hippie sunglasses on. And that is how I described him to you, because you couldn't remember what he looked like, so that you knew that you were going to the right guy for the first date.
Yeah. Well, I gave him a chance.
And that's what happens.
I got crop dusted.
It's disgusting.
So from the bookstore, this was the caveat of why the bookstore wasn't good, because we were walking around the bookstore and he's fully farting. And I couldn't get away. At first I thought it was the bathroom, because we were like kind of by the bathroom, but anywhere I went and he followed, the scent would be.
God.
And then the last one, gnawing. If you're like chewing my lip off while we're kissing and this is like our first kiss, just get out.
Oh my God.
I don't want to kiss you.
What does he think is happening there?
I don't know. Like nibbling on my lip.
How private was this kiss? Like, where were you?
I mean, it wasn't like at our house or anything.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I'm also though like not scared of like PDA.
Oh.
Like I'll like be the person that's like fully making out in public.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's like for a first kiss though, and you're like attacking me like that, it would make more sense if he might have done that like in your someone's room.
Yeah.
But if it was like anywhere else, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep walking.
I love these. These are great. Honorable mentions. That is my favorite slide so far.
All right. So let's get into some lessons that I learned from this chaos. I don't know. I feel like I made this up, but maybe I like saw this on a video and subconsciously claimed this as my own. But I made up, I think, the 2-question rule because of the amount of dates I was going on and just like tailoring everything to them and like trying to make sure there was no lull in conversation and that, oh, like tell me a story about whatever and like really diving in. And then I'm like, why is this my job?
Yeah. It's not.
So you ask 2 questions, and then if they don't ask you anything back, you just sit in silence. And there were some really awkward silences.
I like that, though. It's really, I think that's, oh, God, that's why I just don't want to go on dates, because I know how awkward it can get. But I know you have to do that in order to, like, weed out. Like, you have to. It has to be done. So you might as well just get it over with instead of, like, the energy it takes to fucking bring up a question after question after question to keep the conversation going. Ugh.
I feel like I'm not really good about, well, we know this. I'm not good about saying no.
Yeah.
Or, like, I know this is, like, a roundabout way of saying no, but I feel like I went on all these dates and I wasted a lot of my time for me to learn, like, I'd rather just be uncomfortable for a second and end this then continue to like make sure you're okay and whatever.
Yeah.
So
I will have to say though, like, one, it's like your fucking theme for life though, is do it for the plot. Like, even though yeah, you may feel like you wasted a lot of time, I think a lot of people feel that way. Like,
yeah.
when they're doing dates or have gone like a whole year of just like nothing but dates and it hasn't come to anything, because you have to put yourself out there and try. So you did that, and then it came up with these hilarious stories. This is priceless right here. Priceless information.
The second one is to get moving. I feel like being active, not necessarily like you guys are going running together, but like frisbee golf, even though I said that was bad. Every date was bad. Let's just start with that.
No, I said it was bad.
Every date was not good. But the active dates were at least like the least uncomfortable. Because if we're walking and you're not making conversation, at least we're having a nice walk.
Yeah.
But like when I've done like a sit down like lunch, or like we've gotten like drinks and apps or something, and it's just awkward, and then you're just staring at each other, and it's like, you know, there's not really a lot to work with in those settings, I think. I feel like I need to know you before I'm going to sit down and like have an intimate date with you.
Yeah.
The third is have an escape. Plan for something early in the day that maybe you're like, okay, yeah, like we can grab coffee and then I have to go do XYZ.
This is my favorite rule.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before and I love it. I think it's so helpful.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if it's a lie.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's a lie.
Because then it holds yourself accountable. Because I have a problem of just like, yeah, we're not going to go into that. But yeah.
My favorite, it wasn't from this year, but last year when I had to have Ellie call me after she got her wisdom teeth out. And it just really escalated because I'm bad at lying. And I was like, my roommate has a drug addiction.
I was literally like, I didn't have to say, I didn't act. I was more of the coach on this one. Imagine if I had to be on the phone and it was like anyway, that would be crazy. I just remember being like, good luck. And you were like, hold on, I need to get, you're like, I need to get into character or something. You were just like, okay, bye. And I was like, okay. And then you called me a few minutes later and told that was crazy.
Crazy. So maybe
tell
them beforehand
not that.
what you have to do so you don't have to have someone call you and you have to lie.
Yeah.
And then the last is, I think what we learned from this last like month or so, is that boldness pays off, and you can save a lot of time and energy by maybe having like a few uncomfortable seconds of like, I'm gonna go talk to them, or like, let's hop on the phone. Alex talked about this, and I'm not the best about doing this, but like a lot of the dates that I went on with people from apps, if we would have had like a phone call or something beforehand, I would have never gone on the date with them.
Yeah, same. I just get so, I don't know. I just can't. I remember last year when I was like talking to this guy, he wanted to FaceTime, and I was like, no. And then we went on the date. This was the guy that could not get off his phone. And so I'm wondering that, like, if I would have just answered the phone.
If, like, he would have, when you can tell when people aren't paying attention on FaceTime.
Yeah, if it was like that, or even just, like, I don't know, spent more, sometimes I get this feeling of, like, obligation sometimes, which I fucking hate, of, like, I have to see it through. And so maybe I wouldn't have felt that way, because it would have just been, like, an easy, like, hey, I don't know. I like it. It's just hard. Yeah,
it is hard, but I feel like that's what I'm trying to push myself for more, is, like, all right, I know that this is difficult and uncomfortable, but I'm going to be so much happier if I just, like, rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
When we did our first impressions episode a few weeks ago, we talk about one guy who was like bizarre, crazy person that we both met. We had a phone call for like an hour, and it was after that hour phone call that I was like, this guy is nuts. Like, I don't ever want to talk to him again. But beforehand, me being me, I'm like, you should come down to San Diego, blah, blah, blah. And like, imagine if we had never done that. And he would have come down, or I would have gone up there and like, I would have been livid to learn that he is not what I had envisioned in my mind.
Yeah.
That's obviously an extreme example, but like.
I know, it's so true. How he doesn't respect women or anything. Yeah, that would have been really great.
That's my wrap though. I could talk about like individual dates, but I feel like I've also kind of talked about the craziest ones on other episodes. So that's why you should listen to us.
No, that's why I like this. This was great of how you like broke it down and your lessons learned and everything. This makes me want to like go out. I think for me, I just am hesitant because I'm like, I don't really have luck on the apps, and I wasn't ready to like put myself out there. But also it's like you make it seem fun. Like, yeah, obviously in the moment it's a lot, but it's fun, and it's like how you learn.
Yeah. No, they're good stories. It's been fun to track it. And also, like, whenever I've met a lot of new people recently, and when it's just like awkward, like, so are you dating anyone, blah blah blah, it's a conversation starter.
It is.
To be like, yeah, I've been keeping track. Well, look at this. And then we're like, ah, and then they talk about all their crazy things, and I feel like it's fun.
Yeah.
I probably would track it differently than in my notes app. Our friend Alex, who did a dating episode, she has like a full spreadsheet, which is honestly like better, because when I was making this, I had to keep like scrolling and being like, wait, how old was this person? How many dates? And like,
that's funny.
It's very confusing. So I'm sure I'll see you guys next year with another one.
Part 2.
But the goal is to not be doing these every year. Maybe Ellie can do hers, though.
Yeah, we'll go back and forth between years.
Okay.
I feel like for me, though, like, I'm such a romantic. Like, I don't want to,
I feel like I'm a romantic.
I know you are. I don't know what it is.
I want to just have a meet cute. And
yeah, I feel like a lot of, like, relationships in my life, like, people I know in my life that are in what I thought were, like, good, like, relationships aren't in good relationships, and I'm just like, what the fuck is love? It's not worth it. I remember thinking, oh god, I can't get myself to do it. And also I'm thinking too, like, I don't want to do that. I would much rather stay at home or like have my own space. Like, you were talking, this is a side tangent, we could cut this out, but you were saying like go move on a first date, like go on a hike. I'm like, what? No, because then it not only do I have to talk to you and like get to know you, but now you're like ruining one exercise like activity that I enjoy to do when I could have just like liked to do this by myself. I need to get out of that. I need to stop thinking that.
I think it's a good test of like, well, okay, so here's the thing is like a lot of dates revolve around drinking, and I'd rather I get to know you in like your natural state to know if I even like have fun with you, because I feel like if we did want to go get drinks or something, that like amplifies something that is already there. Yeah. Whereas if I'm going to meet you for the first time and you've been drinking for an hour and now that's what we're doing, like that's not fun. Yeah. For me, at least. True. But it's hard. Would love to hear what y'all's dating life was like. If you have any other lessons, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us a review, Polite as Fuck Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next week.